Hi, I'm Barb.
I'm Ed, and this is Carp Family Adventures.
Did we confuse you a little bit? Sorry, we're just trying to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, we started differently this time. So we're still on our Panama Canal cruise, and we're going to talk about days 5, 6, and 7, which had some surprises. So we'll get into those as we go along.
We're okay though.
Yeah, everyone's okay.
Yeah, everyone's okay.
So we'll start with day 5, which was Wednesday, and it was a sea day. So we just gotten off Puerto Vallarta the day before. We left Puerto Vallarta, and it was a sea day between Puerto Vallarta and Huatulco, Mexico. So we started going up to breakfast at the buffet, and then we went down to the Princess Theater for the destination talk for Costa Rica. So Punta Arenas, Costa Rica is where we'll be in a couple days. Mm-hmm. And that was interesting, right?
Yeah, no, like I said, he's really good. Yeah. Because he's traveled a lot. He's a little, he's kind of younger in a sense. That he's, and he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
And he's very open if you want to talk to him about stuff and tell him stories, and it's good. I like it.
Yeah. So we learned a lot about Costa Rica, and we're going to go on an excursion there. So that should be fun.
Yes. I'm excited.
And
Sorry.
then yeah. It's exciting. Yeah, we've never been there. So the next thing we did was the lecture in Explorers Lounge. Mike Reese did his next lecture, which was the perils of public speaking. I think it was his second one.
Yeah.
So, of course, it was still mostly just funny. It was his tips on how to be a public speaker. So, but very funny.
And it was helpful.
Because he's had a long career doing it, and now he's doing it on cruise ships. He's been doing that for a while, too. So.
Yeah, and he told us stories about how when he first had to do his speaking, and then one of them he had to go to a foreign country and nobody spoke English, and so he said just some things to like surprise people and throw something in that they were not expecting. And so he did, and he got a laugh, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Well, but it was good.
So we'll see more of his speeches.
Yeah.
The next thing we did, we went to a lecture on Picasso in Explorers Lounge from the art staff, which was interesting because they gave his biography and a lot of different examples of his stuff.
And we've done that before, but it's been quite a while since we've gone to one of those on Picasso.
Yeah.
And it's changed a bit, obviously, because they've added stuff to the collection.
Yeah, and they did unveil some things.
And we had one of the, we just purchased, that was one of the pictures that we one of the pictures we purchased on our art cruise.
Yeah,
that was good.
They had another version of it. So.
Yes.
So the next thing we did was in the plaza in the middle of the ship. There was what they called a goofy ball challenge.
Yeah,
and Barb took part in that. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, it was last minute. I was like, I think we were in the shop or something, and we saw it happening.
They started doing it. And it was just where you bounce a ball into a net sort of thing, and if you got it in the right spot, you got 30 points or something, and the other spots you got 10 points. So,
well, you'll see it on the video. To me, it reminded me of a square kind of ski ball, where they have the circles, but they didn't quite have circles. They had 3 in a row, and then on the sides. And so what you had to do is stand behind a line that they put tape on. I thought that was funny. Yeah, and then you had to bounce the ball in, or you could throw the ball in. Some people threw it in. So I did my first round, and I was okay.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. I got everything in, I think. And then I was getting close to doing, because I did 2 rounds. And then I couldn't remember. Wait, did I do it underhand, overhand? What did I do? Yeah. So, second attempt was not very, it wasn't very well executed, I have to say. Yeah. I made Donovan, the cruise staff, work.
Yeah, he chased the ball down the steps.
Yes.
So, but that was fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, we did have lunch, but then there was a nice sunset that night. So we have some footage of that and photos of that.
You do. I don't think I got
probably
any.
didn't.
Yeah,
I did go to the back of the ship, because on deck 8 of the Island Princess, you just walk through the cabins, and there's just an open door out to the back deck. So
I think I was saving our seats again, and I've been trying to be careful with not overheating, so because I've been getting really hot, so I'm trying to be careful.
And then we just went to Explorers and stayed in there. So the first game show in Explorers was the Higher or Lower game show.
Oh, right.
Which was another one where people come down on the floor and then go to the left or the right, depending on whether they thought some statistic
It was the percentage again, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we did this before.
But the crew staff didn't get involved this time.
Yeah, it wasn't as...
It was still fun. I mean, well, they had a lot of people that participated. I guess maybe they didn't need the crew staff. So.
Yeah. And then after that was Majority Rules. So we stayed for a little of that. That's always silly because people just usually come up with joke answers.
Oh, that's right. You were trying to come up with something.
Well, yeah, we were trying to come up with funnier answers too. But,
yeah, we did all right on
but
that.
we left a little early from that one to go to the performance, which we had actually seen before, and we didn't
stick around.
think was that great the last time. And then this time it was the same person. So, but Barb stayed for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I left a little early.
But I think the last time too that ruined it for us was the fact that the people around us were really loud.
Yeah.
And singing along, and it was kind of hard to, I mean, you're supposed to have fun in that, but some parts you're not supposed to really sing with, but whatever. So
yeah.
So I just wanted to see what the whole thing was like, and so I stuck around.
Yeah. And then we went back to Explorers for the I'll Take Music for 100.
Oh, that's right.
Game show trivia, and that was just named that tune, but it was really in Jeopardy format. So we did okay on that. But
I knew all of them again, but I couldn't remember the titles, and it's just hard. I don't know, getting old.
And then we just came back to the cabin. So that was our sea day, and then day 6, Thursday, was our day in Huatulco, Mexico. We arrived in Huatulco in the morning. The sun was coming up, and it was nice getting in. It was hot. We went up to breakfast, and then we decided to get off in Huatulco pretty early.
Yeah,
before the sun came.
that worked out too, getting off.
Yes.
I was kind of surprised. I thought there would be a lot of people rushing to get off.
Yeah, but there wasn't.
And the only issue that we had, honestly, it wasn't an issue because I'm okay to do it, but they were very apologetic. Princess had said that they would have to carry my scooter down because they didn't have a ramp, which I said totally fine. So I just went off to the side, folded the scooter up. I took my time getting down the steps, and they carried it down for me.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And
yeah, it worked out. And they did that for another person.
Another person in front of us that needed help as well. So
yeah.
I mean, and I think if you're in a wheelchair permanently, I think they would be able to help you get down too.
Yeah.
I think they would help carry you down and stuff. So again, they're very, very helpful, very friendly.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then in Huatulco, there's a big, the pier is very long.
Oh yeah.
So, well, they even had a golf cart or something that was taking people back and forth if they wanted to pay for that, but
I think it was like $5, right? And when we came back, a gentleman said it was well worth it.
Worth it, so, yeah. It wasn't that long. It was sort of comparable to like Alaska when we go to Skagway or something, where you have to walk a little distance. But it wasn't too bad, so we just walked and used the scooter. On the pier itself, there were 2 people playing a marimba.
Oh, that was really nice.
Together, for tips and stuff. So they were good. So. We listened to them for a little while. They were good. Then we walked through the town. So right at the end of the pier, there's a little beachfront town. There's a beach. There's a lot of restaurants.
Yeah, a lot of restaurants.
Hotels and condos. We saw some cats.
That cat.
One of them was snoring, but you can't hear it on the video. But it was sleeping already.
It sounded like a human. At first, I was like, when you said, "Did you hear the cat?" I'm thinking snoring. I'm like, wait, what? What? Yeah, but I was like looking around to see if there was a person snoring, but it was the cat.
Yeah.
That was wild. Never heard that before. But they also had a lot of sculptures and murals and art up on the
murals were interesting.
As far as because we didn't get completely way out, we stayed kind of in the area. Yeah,
we just went to the end of the beach and came back.
And it's a good place to get a lot of pictures of the ship. If you want to take some pictures of the island, Princess, this part was pretty good.
Yeah. And on the way back down the pier, there were some dancers.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Doing their dance dances and a band behind them doing the music. So we watched that for a few minutes, and then went back onto the ship because it was getting hot by then.
Oh, it was.
It was really humid, obviously. I mean,
yeah,
that's the climate, but here, but.
And I was gonna say too, when you're in the town area, there are people coming up to you asking you for cruises, or not cruises, like tours, but they could take you on a little river cruise or whatever, or a boat or a taxi. And then once you get, it's kind of towards the end of the pier is where they're standing, kind of, I think. But super nice, very friendly. I didn't find them to be too aggressive.
No.
There
were just a lot of them.
There were a lot.
They wanted to sell their tours. Oh, but they were all really friendly. And yeah, we just said we weren't interested and they left us alone. But there was even, remember when you were doing something with your camera, a lady from town walked up to us and asked if we needed any help. She was really friendly, and her English was really good too. She
had a technical snag, but luckily I didn't. But it was good.
Yeah.
But even the restaurants and the shops, they were out asking you to come in. You know, we've got air conditioning and stuff. Of course, they want you in, but they weren't. They asked you in that, but I didn't find it too aggressive. They were very nice once you did say no thank you or whatever. They said, okay, maybe on the way back. And if they saw you on the way back, you know, it was good. It was very nice. I felt safe and
definitely.
It was good.
Yeah. And then, and Huatulco is in the state of Oaxaca, for what that's worth. So, there's a lot of stuff to do in that state. So people were taking tours.
I think if we came at a different time of year, if it was, the humidity was different and it was cooler, I think we would probably done more.
Stayed longer, yeah.
But we had to be careful because when we got back on the ship. Yeah. Then we went back, got on the ship, and I had to sit for a minute even though I was on my scooter. But just going up the stairs onto the ship, you were completely drenched from So we sat for a few minutes once we got in the air conditioning, and then went up to the buffet and got some ice water. And then came back and took a shower. But it was good. I mean, I'm glad we got off.
Yeah, it was very nice and some good pictures. So that's good too.
And video.
Yeah. Then we had lunch at the buffet. We did laundry for the first time on this ship.
Oh, I felt bad for Ed.
It was crowded that day, which on our last big cruise, it was usually good to go like in the afternoon on a port day. But this time it was quite crowded. So it was full. I had to keep going back and forth to see if there were any spaces. Eventually by 3 or 4 o'clock, I actually ended up going to a different deck, the deck that we used to be on, which really does have the best laundry room of all the decks. And it was pretty open. So then after some time getting the tokens out, which didn't work sometimes, which
but Princess will just if you have an issue and the tokens you paid, you don't get the tokens, just go to guest services. They're super friendly.
They gave us a bunch of tokens just to make up for the ones we lost.
And we went not to complain. We just went to let them know that it was having issues on the different floors. We didn't care about losing our $5 or whatever it was. We just wanted them to know, which I'm sure they hear, but just so they can go up there and have it checked, and and if somebody else has an issue or whatever. So, but they were very friendly about it too, and
I think their machines are pretty good too, and they're pretty reliable.
And it was nice though when you went up to Deck 11, who you ran into.
Oh yeah, I also ran into our old cabin steward. Who we'd gone to see before. I don't know if you mentioned that, but Jaime, he was there.
So he said hi. Look for Jaime. He's amazing.
Really good. So then there was the sail away from Huatulco, which was pretty quick because we just sailed away. There weren't any complications or anything. We went to dinner at the buffet, and then
surprise,
we went back to Explorers Lounge for all their game shows and stuff. So the first one on Thursday was emoji trivia. So it was really, they made little phrases and names of bands and places in emojis, and you had to guess what they were. And we surprised ourselves by winning that one. We didn't think we were going to win because some of them were pretty silly.
We all looked at each other when they said the number, and we're like, wait, what? We won? Yeah. But we did, and
we did okay, yeah.
We got, what was it? We missed like 3, I think.
Yeah, we didn't miss too many.
No, but the one that was the funniest one was the Lamborghini.
Yeah, I can put that. I'll put that on the video. The emojis they used for Lamborghini,
which Robin got.
Yeah,
so that
which
was really
we got,
good.
and I guess a lot of other people got too.
Yeah,
but
it was really funny.
And then and then after that they did their Generation Gap game show, which we've done before. It's like a series of trivias and challenges across basically the 20th century.
I know, but it's kind of funny because they take like they ask the questions at the beginning just to kind of figure out what the demographics is in the room. So then at the end, like before they start, they said, now remember, you're doing it for an older woman, then there such and such, whatever. And I know, it was just really funny. I don't remember what it was, but just remember that.
Yeah, because that was funny. And then after that, it ended with a dance battle. So each side of the room has to get up and do the
I forgot
twist.
About that.
It turned out to be the hustle and some dances. We didn't really.
I danced in my seat. I didn't get up. It's hard to get up from those chairs.
Yeah. And then when we went back to the cabin, we went to sleep. But then it was interesting because there was lightning. So we went through a lightning storm. So I got some video of that. And then also overnight we heard a thump.
Well, yes, it happened again. And I know better to put the scooter down on its belly.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't realize what it was, but apparently we were moving a lot that the scooter fell. Because we haven't been really moving much on this ship.
Right, yeah.
It's been very, very calm until, 6:30 in the morning? I don't know what was it?
Yeah, so Friday morning, day 7, we were scheduled to stop at Puerto Chiapas in the state of Chiapas. But we were kind of woken up by the ship like rolling back and forth.
Which, I mean, we've cruised, on Princess we've cruised 23 times has it been? Or something, I don't remember, but we've cruised on other cruise lines too. I don't think I've ever cruised, and even when I really worked on the cruise ship, that we had the motion of rolling side to side so much, severe, that things were falling from I went into the bathroom and I started to pick up the shampoo and stuff like that, and then it just kept falling. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave everything and deal with it when the ship stops.
Yeah. So we were pulling into harbor, but then the captain came on around 7:30 on the audio, even in the staterooms, which is unusual, and said that because of the high swells pulling into port, it was like 2 meters, which is not unusual like when we're actually sailing, but you couldn't dock when the swells were that high.
But they got the pilot on board.
Yeah, the pilot did come on board.
I guess because he must have been further out when they got him on board, I'm assuming. So.
And then,
I don't know.
So he said we would have to cancel our stop in Chiapas. So I'm sure people were disappointed, but we weren't even planning to get off, so it didn't really affect us much. So then they started sailing out, and then the seas got much calmer out farther. So.
But then we heard later, in the evening, that a couple that we see sometimes in Explorer's Lounge, they were actually in the buffet and they said plates were falling. And people it was a little, hard to.
Yeah.
But again, Princess knows, on any of the cruise lines, they,
take
care of everybody. They're ready. They know what they're doing. They're well trained.
And everything, by 8, when we went up to the buffet, everything was normal.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have thought anything happened.
Yeah, the seas were normal because we were out far enough, and the buffet was stocked same as always.
Yeah.
So
And the really neat thing about it was they, obviously they had to change all the stuff that was happening during the day. So within, I don't know, I think when we got back from breakfast, and then a little bit after that, they printed a brand new pattern with a new schedule. Yeah. And they crammed a lot of stuff in yesterday.
Yeah, they must have done a lot of work really quickly when they canceled it because
So that was fun.
Yeah, and it was sort of turned out good because in the morning we saw a bunch bunch beside the ship.
That's right.
So we got a little video of that. We never get great video.
For pictures.
Yeah, and then we did go around the ship and look at some of the things, like the extra things that they put in. So we went to the art gallery, and right next to that they were doing carpet bowling. So
I've done that before, but I didn't do it this time. That was fun when I did it before. But
And then on the way back, we saw Elevator Roulette. They were playing that.
Yeah, we should have probably jumped in. That would have been easy.
Yeah, but we were on the wrong side. But
yeah,
where they bet on which elevator is going to come to the floor first. They put a paper over the display, the arrows, so you can't see where each elevator is, and then they hit the button, and whichever one comes wins.
But the funny part too was when people would get off the elevator and be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
Or people trying to
or
get
trying
on.
to get on, they thought it was broken.
But they always had I guess Queen was there running it, the cruise staff. She's really funny. So, helping people out. No, I've got the elevator right here for you.
And then we kept walking, and there was this, I guess it was the 60-second Frenzy game show in the plaza where people were trying to carry ping pong balls
between their legs
to a bucket on the other side of the plaza.
That would have, you would not have seen me do that way, because I probably would have killed the poor ping pong ball.
And then after that, we actually saw more dolphins. There were more dolphins on deck. And you could see them, I think, better from our cabin on deck 9 than
that's what
the promenade on deck 7, because we were up a little higher and you could see into the water a little better. So we saw a few dolphins there. Yeah. And then we went into Wheelhouse, the Wheelhouse Bar, to do 2 trivia game shows. And the first one was the Cryptic Clues Trivia, where they would describe like a movie title with synonyms and stuff, but try to make it very confusing.
Yeah, and they had different categories, and there were 24 or 25 questions? 25 questions.
Yeah,
I think.
they did a lot of questions.
I think that's what it was. So he's like, "Oh, I have time. Let's do 2 more rounds." So
so we did okay on that. We got one away from the.
Yeah, we came in second again, but that's okay. I mean, we don't really need, we just like doing it for fun. But
and then after that, they played word tennis, which I don't know if we've watched before, but I know they do.
I mean, we've seen it, but I don't.
Where 2 people get up and they give them a category, and they have to go back and forth saying an item in the category, like colors or breakfast cereals, until there's a repeat or they can't think of one.
I was trying to help the person by yelling out, "Captain Crunch!"
Yeah.
Because
the audience was allowed, allowed to help when they got stuck. But it didn't work very well because they couldn't really hear.
They couldn't hear.
Well.
But like I said, if I would have gone up there, I mean, like Ed was saying, it's hard to when you're up there because you're kind of like, oh my God, your mind goes blank, right? I mean, that's what it is. But I said if I was up there, I probably would have named all the kids' cereal.
Yeah. And then we were lucky again. Once we got back to the cabin, we saw a bunch of sea turtles. Floating by like outside.
I'm just bummed that I was trying to cut down on weight. I didn't bring my nice big lens, so I mean I got something, but not much. It's hard to see.
Yeah, we saw a few of the sea turtles.
It was better with the phone with the video, I think.
Yeah. Then we went down to deck 7 again, and this time the claw machine was open. So it's finally been open. So
I got my claw fixed.
Played the crane game there, where the prizes, it's going to be a hard one if you try.
Well, it always is. Every time I see people do it, it's people do win though, and then there's I've seen 2 different techniques. So I don't know. I just put a couple dollars in.
Yeah.
I think you got video of me when I got a hold of it. And of course, but it dropped. But.
Yeah, it didn't quite make it all the way. But the prizes are all bundles of cash, and the lowest one is $100. So
and it goes up to like 1,000 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, there's like 250, 500 like bundles, but
it might be worth it to put some more money in. Let's see. No, I don't know. I might just for fun.
So we were on our way there to the Elite Lounge in Explorers, so we got some cheese and I didn't get a pretzel, but I got a few little things, olives and nuts and stuff.
I got some crackers
and crackers,
and my dried apricots that I like. I haven't had any yet on this trip, so it was good. I was able to get a couple of those.
Yeah. So that's always nice. We did that before dinner. When we were walking back, we saw one of the dogs. So I got real quick video you'll see of one of the dogs. It's the little one that travels in a little suitcase kind of thing.
Yeah, a little travel bag on wheels.
And the lady said his name is Gizmo, so that's that dog. There's another dog that's a husky, that's another service dog on board, but we haven't gotten video of that dog. And then we saw the sunset again. Remember, it was it was really bright just above the clouds.
I did see that one.
Nice. Yeah.
But it was it was okay. It wasn't. I mean, it was still beautiful, but not like with all the pretty colors.
Yeah. So then, of course, we had dinner. We went down to Explorers Lounge, and this time the first trivia was famous landmarks.
Yeah.
So we didn't win that one. Everybody did about the same on that.
Yeah.
Some of them were very easy, and only a couple of them were hard. So everybody got fairly high scores on that.
I still can't believe I missed Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
But it does not. It was the way they cropped it. It was really weird. We probably should just put it down, but
yeah,
that's okay.
Oh well. And then the next thing was the top, middle, bottom game show, which we've seen before. And Bob went up to do that, so we'll have some video of that. That's just sort of random, where you choose whether the top, middle, or bottom square, and it's either you lose a life or you go forward,
or you answer a question.
Answer a trivia question to go forward.
And I think only two. Was it two people?
Yeah, only two
people won.
Yeah, I think the last time we saw this, a lot of people won.
Yeah,
so
and Angela made the comment that. I guess it was easier to get everybody through because she had a bowl full of names that people signed up, so she was able to get through everybody.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately people were getting out. But it's just random how you know.
Right. Yeah. And then the last game was Motown music trivia.
Yeah.
So we played that. Two teams got all.
Yeah, they got all 40 because
right.
they did name an artist. There was 20 questions.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And then after that was karaoke. And
karaoke.
Bob sang that Josh Groban song.
Yeah.
I Lift You Up. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, and he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I guess the microphone wasn't working.
Yeah,
very well,
he should have the other mic.
Well. Yeah.
That's a bit of a shame, but
it was still really good.
Yep.
We watched some more karaoke, and then as we were walking back, we saw some lightning again. So another lightning storm. So we got back to our cabin and tried to take some video and some pictures.
Well, then it started to rain.
Yeah, and then it started to rain really hard. So we stopped doing that, and it was hard to get the lightning too because it was behind the clouds and you couldn't see the lightning bolts exactly.
I know. I was tempted to go back up on deck because when we left karaoke, we did go up to the buffet to get some ice water to bring back to the cabin.
Right.
And that's what we realized. Well, you saw it actually when we came out. You saw it out of the window. And I didn't quite hear you what was happening. So. Yeah,
and up on deck it was good.
Yeah, it was pretty neat.
Because we were there before it had started raining. So but anyway. But it lasted for quite a while, but we went to sleep and it was still.
Yeah, we kept the drapes open, the curtains or whatever, and so we could see it. And I tried watching it for quite a bit. I just I was tired. I fell asleep.
Yeah. So that was day 7. So that should have been Puerto Chiapas. Day 8 is a sea day. That's when we're recording this. And then day 9 will be Costa Rica. So our next video should have our trip in Costa Rica, as long as we actually. We should be able to dock there because it's in a harbor, a protected harbor, so it should be better.
Right, yeah. So we're going to make sure we bring water off with us.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be hot and humid there too. And also rainy and possible thunderstorms there too. So we'll see how that goes.
And I think it's also that's tonight, the Captain's Circle.
Yeah, tonight.
So we'll have video.
Shots of that too.
Yeah, some video of that.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yep, that's it. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.